A lot of what people are taught about attracting commitment doesn't translate well when the other person has avoidant attachment patterns. The usual advice, be more available, show more interest, be consistent in pursuit, often produces the opposite result. The more someone feels pursued, the more pressure they sense, and the stronger their instinct becomes to withdraw. What works in secure dynamics can feel overwhelming or even suffocating in this context. But the misunderstanding most people fall into is assuming avoidant individuals are simply afraid of intimacy. In reality, it's not closeness itself they resist, it's emotional environments that feel unpredictable, consuming, or emotionally heavy. What they often react to is not love, but the feeling of losing autonomy inside it. Their system becomes alert when connection starts to feel like pressure, expectation, or emotional dependence. When you remove that sense of pressure, something interesting happens. They don't just tolerate connection, they can become more engaged with it. Because what begins to stand out is not intensity or neediness, but stability, choice, and emotional space. The dynamic shifts from something that feels like obligation into something that feels voluntary. At the core of this response is a simple pattern. People with avoidant tendencies are often drawn to what feels self-contained, grounded, and not emotionally dependent on them. They tend to lose interest when things feel predictable in a dull or consuming way, but they stay curious when there is space, individuality, and emotional restraint. What holds their attention is not pursuit, but presence without dependence. This isn't about strategy or forcing outcomes. It's about understanding what kinds of relational patterns tend to feel sustainable for them, and what kinds tend to trigger withdrawal. The healthiest version of this is not about making someone commit, but about becoming someone who is emotionally steady, self-directed, and clear in boundaries. So the connection that forms is based on choice rather than pressure. From this perspective, several psychological dynamics tend to show up repeatedly. 1. Emotional independence that doesn't hinge on their presence. One of the strongest stabilizing factors in these dynamics is emotional self-reliance. Not the appearance of independence, but actual internal stability, where your emotional state isn't constantly shaped by whether someone is close, distant, responsive, or withdrawn. When someone has avoidant tendencies, they are highly sensitive to perceived emotional demand. If they feel responsible for regulating your emotions, the connection quickly becomes heavy. But when they sense that you remain grounded regardless of their behavior, the pressure decreases. This shows up in simple ways. If they become distant, you don't escalate emotionally or try to force clarity in the moment. If communication becomes inconsistent, you don't spiral into interpretation loops or reactive messaging. Instead, you continue living your own rhythm and respond when it makes sense for you. The attraction here isn't about playing distant. It's about not collapsing internally when someone else is inconsistent. That emotional steadiness creates space in the interaction. It signals that being around you doesn't require emotional management or constant reassurance. Over time, this kind of presence feels less like pressure and more like relief. The connection becomes something they can enter without feeling emotionally trapped. It also naturally filters the dynamic. When you are genuinely emotionally self-contained, engagement becomes a matter of interest, not obligation. People who are only half invested tend to fade, while those who are genuinely drawn in tend to stay present. 2. Boundaries that are consistent and actually enforced. Another key dynamic is structure. Many avoidant-leaning relationships become unstable not because of lack of feeling, but because of unclear or inconsistent boundaries. Things are said, but not maintained. Expectations shift under pressure, and emotional rules change depending on the moment. What creates a different experience is consistency between what you value and how you act. A boundary is not a threat or an emotional ultimatum. It is simply a pattern of behavior you maintain regardless of someone else's reaction. If something doesn't work for you, you don't repeatedly negotiate it. You adjust your behavior accordingly. For example, if lateness repeatedly happens, you don't escalate emotionally each time. You simply stop waiting beyond a certain point and continue with your plans. If communication styles are inconsistent, you don't demand change. You simply engage in a way that respects your own rhythm. This kind of structure creates clarity, and clarity reduces emotional tension. The interaction becomes easier to navigate because expectations are consistent, not reactive. Importantly, this isn't about controlling the other person. It's about controlling access to your own time, attention, and emotional energy. That distinction matters. It shifts the dynamic from emotional negotiation to self-management. When boundaries are calm, consistent, and not used as punishment, they tend to create a sense of reliability. And reliability is often what makes deeper connection feel possible for someone who is otherwise wary of emotional chaos. 3. Maintaining a sense of mystery through depth, not distance. Another factor that influences long-term interest is not revealing everything about yourself immediately. Not in a deceptive way, but in a natural unfolding of personality over time. People are complex, and when everything is shared too quickly, the sense of discovery disappears. With avoidant-leaning individuals especially, sustained interest is often tied to ongoing curiosity rather than immediate emotional immersion. Mystery here doesn't mean secrecy or emotional withholding. It means allowing your life, personality, and experiences to be revealed gradually rather than all at once. You don't need to over-explain your past, your routines, or your entire emotional world in the early stages. Let things surface naturally as the connection develops. A conversation reveals one layer, not the entire structure. Your individuality also contributes to this. Having your own interests, spontaneous decisions, and private areas of life creates natural depth. Someone learns more about you over time rather than instantly categorizing you. Even simple things, like them gradually discovering skills, perspectives, or unexpected parts of your personality, keep the connection alive with curiosity. They begin to feel that there is always more to understand, not because you are performing mystery, but because you are not flattened into something fully predictable. Social and personal independence also plays a role here, not as secrecy, but as separation. Your life does not revolve entirely around the relationship, and that creates natural space between experiences. That space keeps individuality intact, which prevents the dynamic from becoming emotionally fused too quickly. The most effective kind of mystery is not calculated distance. It is simply depth that unfolds over time. The sense that a person is not fully knowable in one sitting, and that continued connection reveals new dimensions. And on a more subtle level, even your emotional expression can contribute to this. Not inconsistency in values, but variation in personality. How you show up in different moods, environments, and conversations. Sometimes reflective, sometimes playful, sometimes deeply focused. That range keeps the experience alive rather than predictable. Physical presence and expression also follow the same principle. Even your emotional expression follows the same principle. Not inconsistency in values, but variation in how you show up. Sometimes playful, sometimes reflective, sometimes deeply engaged. That range keeps the connection alive because it prevents you from becoming emotionally predictable in a flat, one-dimensional way. And this extends into deeper layers of personal identity as well. The more someone experiences you over time in different contexts, the more they realize there isn't a single version of you they can fully summarize early on. That ongoing discovery is what sustains long-term interest. The same applies to intimacy on every level, including physical and sensual connection. Not as something performed or strategically hidden, but as something that naturally unfolds with trust, emotional safety, and familiarity. You don't rush to expose every preference, every comfort zone, or every intimate expression in the earliest stages of connection. Instead, it develops gradually as emotional security builds. This kind of progression creates a natural sense of anticipation, not because anything is being withheld in a manipulative sense, but because real intimacy has depth that cannot be fully revealed in the beginning. Over time, new layers of comfort, expression, and emotional closeness emerge organically. That unfolding keeps the connection from becoming mentally or emotionally fully mapped too quickly. The key throughout all of this is balance. You're not hiding yourself, and you're not overexposing yourself. You're allowing access in layers, sharing openly, but not completely dissolving all privacy or individuality in the process. Some parts of your life are shared, others remain personal, and that separation preserves a sense of identity outside the relationship. When someone experiences you this way, the connection feels alive rather than fully defined. There is always something still developing, still being understood, still being discovered. And that ongoing depth is what keeps genuine engagement intact over time. 4. Calm confidence when their emotions become chaotic. One of the most powerful, stabilizing dynamics in relationships involving avoidant tendencies is your ability to remain grounded when their emotional state becomes unpredictable. While others may react to their distance, intensity shifts, or mixed signals with anxiety or emotional escalation, you stay centered. This doesn't mean being emotionally detached. It means being regulated. You don't mirror their chaos, and you don't allow their emotional fluctuations to destabilize your internal state. When they withdraw or become distant, you don't panic or chase. You don't turn their silence into a personal crisis. You recognize it as part of their internal processing, rather than a reflection of your value. You continue focusing on your own life, allowing space without emotional collapse. When they become reactive or overwhelmed, you don't meet intensity with intensity. Instead, you respond with clarity and calm presence. You're able to acknowledge what's happening beneath the surface without being pulled into surface-level conflict. This keeps the interaction from escalating into emotional turbulence. This kind of emotional steadiness creates safety. Not the kind of safety that comes from control, but the kind that comes from predictability in your own behavior. They begin to realize they don't have to manage your emotional reactions on top of their own internal struggles. In moments of confusion or distance, your calm presence becomes the anchor point. You don't disappear emotionally, but you also don't amplify pressure. That balance helps reduce the internal overwhelm they often experience in close relationships. Over time, this creates a subtle but powerful shift. You become someone who represents emotional stability rather than emotional demand. And that contrast is often deeply compelling for someone whose system is used to instability in closeness. 5. A life so full that access to you feels earned. Another major dynamic is the presence of a genuinely full and meaningful life outside the relationship. Not a performative version of busyness, but a real life structured around interests, goals, relationships, and commitments that matter to you independently of the connection. When your life is full in this way, your availability becomes naturally limited. Not because you are trying to create scarcity, but because your time is already meaningfully allocated. You have plans, responsibilities, passions, and social connections that are not easily rearranged. This changes the dynamic of attention. Instead of you organizing your life around someone else's availability, they begin to recognize that time with you is something that has to fit into an already active and structured life. Your friendships are not secondary. They are stable, ongoing parts of your world. Your personal interests are not filler. They are genuine sources of fulfillment. Your professional or creative goals are not background noise. They are central parts of your direction in life. Because of this, spending time with you is not automatic. It requires intention. It requires coordination. It requires effort from the other person to align with your existing life, rather than expecting you to adjust everything around them. This naturally shifts perception. Your presence becomes something valuable, not because it is withheld, but because it is not endlessly available. They begin to see time with you as something they participate in, not something they assume. Importantly, this is only effective when it is authentic. A full life cannot be manufactured for effect. It has to genuinely exist. Real fulfillment creates natural boundaries without effort, because you are already engaged in living rather than waiting. 6. Genuine indifference to their commitment timeline. The final dynamic is emotional neutrality around timing and labels in the relationship. Not apathy, not avoidance of commitment discussions, but a deep internal stability where their pace does not create urgency inside you. You can discuss the future without attaching pressure to it. You can express what you want without trying to force alignment. You can acknowledge uncertainty without needing to immediately resolve it. This removes the emotional tension from the process. Instead of commitment becoming something that feels like a test or deadline, it becomes something that unfolds naturally based on mutual alignment. You are also fully capable of accepting a no without internal collapse or emotional bargaining. That acceptance is not performative. It is grounded in self-respect and emotional clarity. You are not trying to convince someone into choosing you. This removes pressure from both sides. They are no longer responding to urgency or emotional escalation. Instead, they are left with space to actually understand how they feel without external influence. When pressure is removed, clarity often increases, and in that clarity, real decisions tend to emerge more honestly. At the same time, you continue building your life independently. You don't pause your direction, goals, or experiences while waiting for relational certainty. Your forward movement continues regardless of their internal process. This creates an interesting reversal. Instead of you waiting to be chosen, the dynamic becomes whether they are willing to align with someone who is already moving forward in life with or without them. And in many cases, that absence of pressure is exactly what allows genuine interest to solidify into commitment. Not because it was forced, but because it was freely chosen. In the end, all of these dynamics point to the same underlying principle. Emotional security, self-possession, and grounded independence are what create sustainable attraction in avoidant dynamics. Not pursuit, not pressure, not emotional escalation, but steadiness, depth, and clarity that allow connection to develop without force. In conclusion, the core message is that lasting connection with avoidant-leaning individuals isn't built through chasing, pressure, or emotional intensity, but through emotional stability, self-sufficiency, and calm consistency. When you maintain clear boundaries, a full independent life, and steady emotional regulation, the dynamic naturally shifts away from anxiety and pursuit cycles. Instead of trying to force commitment or manage their behavior, the focus is on becoming grounded enough that connection is a choice, not a necessity. In that space, attraction grows from respect, safety, and genuine interest, rather than fear, pressure, or emotional dependency.